my favorite joke to make at this point.
Hello, welcome to MidMatchRant. This definitely isn't the second time we've done this tonight. So, boys, any surprises with upper bracket so far?
None at all.
There we go. You had the prediction from the Leviathan Loud.
Love you.
We were all happy with DRX not choking like they usually do. You were going on about Optic going attack on Breeze.
Yep, Optic going attack on Breeze. Not really sure why they're doing that, but you know what? It is what it is.
I mean,
And who started the breach meta?
who started the Breeze meta? Or
No,
Breach?
breach on Breeze.
I mean, I can't say it was ever really started.
I was gonna say, I know Paper Rex did it Grand Finals in Copenhagen. I can't remember a time it was used before.
Okay, so that's the first time, and it fails. Why is it still here?
I think it's because it's very much along with a lot of things in Valorant right now. It's theorycraft, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like how
Because I understand why it's good. I get it.
the stuns are just
The stuns are really good. They're super long. The ultra retake on B, you never ever have to worry about retaking on B ever again.
Mm-hmm.
you just throw a retake wall and
Your flashes, you can shoot from anywhere as long as you see something. Probably really good in mid and B.
Yeah, but most of the maps played on A.
But opening up B creates a bigger
advantage.
A bigger advantage because now knowing that B is a more available option, the other team now has to adapt. You know, are you going to pull more players over to B? Or are you going to try to?
Because
What happens when you throw the Viper Wall A and now all of a sudden you're worried about the pressure B? Now you gotta worry about the guys going A and maybe they start taking mid. You know, it's like a lot of different factors. So
it's like otherwise it's just one person B, one nest or tunnel, and then one halls and 2A. So it's very much stacked to that side. If you can open up B, I guess there's a way to work it. I just think though that Optic just need to. It feels very much like Chet's just trying to come up with a very quick solution rather than a permanent solution. And like, I want to say, like, thinking back to it, I thought they had the right idea with Reykjavik putting Marv on Chamber. Although now that I think about it, I think that was just they're realizing Marv was just having the tournament of his life, and we're like, let's abuse this.
Yeah.
Because ever since then, it's been yay on the Chamber. Well, I will say, what they also did it in group stage with Victor on Jet. Where did that go?
I mean, I think I think that the top teams in top 8, right? At least most of the top teams, some of the top teams. Keep rephrasing myself. They are so confident that they're going to make it through groups that they don't need to show a lot of the things they've been working. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather show something that's going to be just old reliable, not going to break. But when you're in, these situations where you need to make it to finals, I'd rather show something new. It's like, hey, you didn't see this coming. You probably weren't super ready for it, but if it works, it works. That's kind of what we need to go for now because we don't want to be studied up on. Clearly, I mean, we Loud 4 stacking. Again, I'll bring that point up again. Loud 4 stacks.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, Optics start having issues because
take a team that's really good at executes,
yeah,
and then you just predict they're going here.
Yeah, and then you make that prediction. All of a sudden, you're gonna have a hard time.
And even if you predict wrong, you have 4 or 5 all for retake with all your util.
So it's like now you're in a situation where how do you want to do that? Well, let's change that. We're not going to see what we're going to do coming. Don't know what our executes like. Change that. I feel like the same thing's going to happen. Same thing did happen with DRX. Saw a slightly different look with Ascent. A little different. Saw a little different look with Exet on Pearl their second time around. I don't know. I feel like that's just what needs to happen. I mean, I feel like that's obvious from a standpoint of like understanding. Like you don't want somebody to break your game down before you own a bracket. So that comes from experience and other.
But then you have them go back to their original strats for the last 2 maps. just kind of smacked Liquid like they were nothing.
Well, Liquid's a joke.
That is also true. We were saying earlier today,
I mean,
it was if Scream's alive, there is still 5 people alive. If Scream's dead, no one's alive.
I mean, it was also like going from Breeze, which is probably their worst map, to Bind and Ascent.
Bind's their best map.
Bind is probably their best map, and Ascent I think is just very basic. It's like probably top 3.
Yeah, probably.
You know what I mean? Like it's up there, and it's very simple. Like there's not much to really work with, and like I think the only curveball they really threw in there was changing Marv from Omen to Astra.
That's a pretty big curveball.
It is because that you
Changes the whole tempo.
you instead of having the whole one ways and then being way more aggro on defense to trap plays, essentially.
That's what you got to do against a team, with a superstar. And let's talk about that stat that came out earlier today. It was 4 out of 32 rounds before the match that happened today. Liquid lost if Scream was the first one to die.
No,
Liquid won if Scream was the first one to die. Excuse me. 4 out of 32 ones. 4 out of 32 rounds, Liquid won if Scream was the first to die. So,
it's bad.
like
Very, very bad.
That's just sad.
Yeah,
that's just actually sad.
like when I think about DRX stacks dies, I'm not really worried.
There's still Buzz.
There's still Buzz.
There's still RB.
Yeah, like
thank God RB isn't pulling off just yet.
yeah, I
just
know.
Yet.
I was worried. I was worried in that overtime game that he wasn't gonna pull up, but he pulled up.
No, he pulled up.
No, well,
He pulled up more than Stacks did, I think, in the overtime. But I don't know, man. Just me. Stacks brought them to overtime. RB closed it out.
yeah. But
You know how a team should work.
yes,
Crazy.
not one doing everything.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That Liquid I think just need to blow up. Players I think are talented enough where they could get on other teams, but they just need a damn IGL.
It needs some structure. I think it's more than just an IGL.
I mean, yeah,
The
structure
coach-
would definitely also help.
Yeah, coach an actual IGL. I think Scream is really good veteran talent, but it kind of worries me. Like, what is he bringing to the team that a different veteran might bring? Like, if I think about again, let's think about last year's 100 Thieves. How did we feel about all the veterans on the roster? The only reason they beat Ascend was because they had veterans to keep morale and general energy going.
Just to understand, hey, this is realizing the game plan. Even if it was as simple as just run away from CNED.
That's why Def is really good. That's why High Warlord Haste is really good. Like lots of.
That's why Ethan is still really good.
George Geddes.
We don't talk. We won't talk about him
Like,
here.
I'm not
But his
actually going
takes
to.
are dog.
His takes are horrendous.
Okay, so actually with this, because I just had a thought in mind. So we take Scream, right? He's a veteran. What would you do if you put him on Initiator and then had him try calling and then push someone else to be the star duelist?
I think you're on right track, but I don't know. Again,
Like
Scream as an IGL is a little rough.
I was gonna
Is
say,
it the duelist position that's the issue, or is it him that's the issue?
that was my question, because like yes, he is IGLing probably bad. Probably also just because he's probably started this year. So it's very just like bare bones, like nothing to it. But if Liquid was to say keeping Scream, like there's no other IGLs around, there's nothing else they can do, try and build up Scream as an IGL, but push someone else in the duelist role. How would you feel about that?
That's a really weird experiment. Because Scream IGL'd for a very short time. It was off IGL very fast.
Mm-hmm.
Would that change with Valorant? Probably. Do I think that he could be a good IGL? I'm sure he could. He has the ability to do so. Just like any good player, I think any good player could turn into an IGL, and the fragging ability would take a hit. But kind of like a weird.
That's the reason I brought it up though, because it's like if someone of his talent, right? Like you're expecting so much of him, but if he was, because like we see it now, he can still frag, but if he's the main fragger, it's a problem. But if he was their secondary or tertiary,
Doesn't this kind of tie back to what we were saying like last week though, when we were like, should every player be able to frag out?
I'm,
And then like this is a situation
I
where
guess you're kind of
should
right.
your IGL be able to frag the fuck out?
I mean, yeah, it does. But I don't know. It's just a weird thought that I had in my mind because I'm like trying to think, right? Because there's rounds where I go, Yampy's doing very good. Like Yampy will show up.
Yeah.
What if Yampy actually got assisted instead of most of those being clutches, or him just being
Getting the 1, 2, 3.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
literally
him,
diffing the player
like
in front
instead
of
of
him.
Stream getting the push, the flashes, the info, it was for Yampy
Well, I think
from
Yampy
Scream.
runs. I think Yampy runs into the same problem that. What do you like? I'm not gonna say yay. So what's a better example? Like Saya player.
Mhm.
Like Saya player, Jet is built for Saya player.
The movement,
Yeah. Remember when the guard tried to put or
and it did
It-
not
it-
work.
nope.
it just didn't work. It didn't click.
He did
Because
not feel
that's just not
comfortable.
the type of player he is.
Yeah.
He's the type of player to go in. I feel like Yampy is the type of player to excel in a situation much like the Ye we're seeing now. I think Ye is good on any duel, clearly.
Mhm.
But I think Yampy excels in the situation where he can take the safe fight without relying on the other person. But if the setup comes for him, he'll be able to take advantage of that. But he's always going to be the second guy. And maybe that's just me because when I think about Yampy in stage 1 of last year, good, but not as impactful as I think about when I think of Scream. Not as impactful when I think about um hate to say it, Nivera on Astra. I just don't see it. I don't see it any other way. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't it I don't know how Yampy would adapt. I'm sure he would like change, but I don't think he'd be as impactful as he would be now. And that's of course due to like Chamber existing,
Yeah.
being a character. But would that translate over? I don't know. But again, players have changed, they've grown. So who's to say that it wouldn't be who's to say that it wouldn't be different?
Okay.
But I guess I have a question. Think Scream. I think there's a world where Scream plays.
Yes.
I feel like there's a very high likelihood that he goes and plays that a team tries to buy him out.
Yeah, he's gonna try and
Realistically,
buy him out.
I think the way with franchising, how few teams there are, and how much talent there is out there, I think it would be idiotic actually to not even be thinking about cross regions. Because in my head, unlike other games, I mean, there's usually just an A and EU, and usually they keep to themselves. But this is the first time I can go and like, I feel like I could pick a player from each region to build a team, and I could go. I have confidence they'd get top 8, even top 4. And it is wider than what you asked, but yes, I think it would be strange for players or for orgs not to even consider it, especially if for some reason Scream's left out.
Yeah.
Do I think Liquid give them the chance? No.
I feel like Scream is a valuable player, just name to be on a team. But I just hate seeing him stuck on a team where they keep trying to. Okay. Team is built around but by Scream,
Mm-hmm.
not around Scream because of Scream. If that makes sense. Like FaZe built a roster around Baby Bay, and it worked out really good. I would say that if you give FaZe 8 more months, we'll see them playing on equal footing with maybe not on equal footing with Optic, but at least on equal footing with Exit.
Mm-hmm. I think they're almost there right now. I think
I think that they're very close. I'm just very worried about the nerfs that Chamber will probably get after this.
that
Oh,
is fair.
Because Dicey's gonna be in the situation where Solo Man's a character, no longer Solo Man the character.
Hmm.
But he does play Sky, he does play KO.
I
So
think
we'll see.
there's a little luck with that though, that the character's so gunplay based that it will any character you put him on now, it's just a matter of learning util.
They just won't have the same impact.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Face was smart where they're like, okay, let's get someone to help when Baby Bay can't pop off, and players who work well around Baby Bay to set him up well. And yeah, they really don't do that with Liquid. I mean, would have been so what was it? Link recent change was Link left, and then they brought in Demasek, I think, which
I
is
feel
last.
like first change, but
Well, not wrong, no, because Link was just definitely a better smokes. Like he just is more comfortable on the smokes. But that was, I believe, Link's decision to leave, and they're right before LCQ. They just need a last minute change, and no big org is gonna let their players go unless they didn't make it. And there was no really good prominent players in the MEA for them, so they just kind of went with what they could. Probably very much just M-wise, just who they felt had good vibes. Like he was not the best smokes. Like he looked very uncomfortable. But and then before that, it was they brought in Navera to replace Cryptex, who at the time was doing well on Sentinels. But then because of Chamber, he kind of just got cooked.
Yeah.
Like it seems that it's just it had good footing, but then that meta kind of threw them off. And yeah, now it's just a jumble of just mess of just roles not working, being changed.
I think when Chamber gets nerfed, like 6 rosters are gonna be like, all right, well, you're a one trick, goodbye.
No.
Nah.
Any roster's gonna do that?
I don't think. I don't think.
Because it's already hard to boom Chamber as a character as it is, because he's so inherently fucking dumb.
It depends on what they do with the rest of the agent cap, right? Because what other agent in the game gets more impact than gets as much impact as Chamber? Yeah.
Yeah.
Most teams that have duelist already have a duelist. Player's already a player. There are a few exceptions to that. Like Thieves. I don't consider any single one of them a Chamber player.
No.
No, not at all.
I know they're preparing for the nerfs. I know that's what Sean.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason they played more Chamber LCQ was because
They're
there's
good.
He's just easy to put in.
But like the process wasn't even like Chamber is good. It's just that Will is an opper, and Chamber is a better opper. So that's what they focused on.
Yeah.
And it worked out for them. And
yet they can still prep Pearl without a Chamber,
Right.
which is really fucking hard as is.
I
NRG.
completely forgot that. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Holy.
prepped without a Chamber.
Sage, very cool.
Yeah, fucking Asuna on the Sage. Let's go.
No, but NRG, they have a Chamber player. Tex isn't like a duelist, so he can whatever. He wasn't a duelist before, but
He was the initiator that looked.
Yeah, but he looks way more comfortable on Sentinel. Before.
He does.
And
Yeah.
that's what Ethan's there for. Is now he can cover initiator. Unfortunate for RIP, but
I hope the man finds a roster.
I hope he finds a.
It'll be tough with franchising, but
I mean, he'll be at least tier 2.
probably.
At least.
But no, I think orgs will definitely give their players a little bit of time to work with, at the very least. But like, how much time? I don't know
I
because
can't imagine anything more.
yeah, like they have to like understand that it will take time. You can't just go, well, your agent's boomed, GTFO. They got to give them time to remember what it's like beforehand. Because like, remember the Astra.
Yeah.
Like it's not like, oh god, Xander's an amazing Astra. Ah shit, there goes Astra.
Here goes Astra.
Xander, get the fuck like.
But I feel like that has such an easier translation with Omen or Brim than a Chamber does to Killjoy or Cypher.
I mean, yes, you're right.
But I mean, there's other times where it's like, I'm trying to think. I mean, let's go back to Liquid. They won't. It's just gonna be that Navera goes back to Sentinels, EMP. Hydrogen would go back to Smokes, and then Dima on Initiator or something like that. You know, like you'd work your way back to what you were beforehand, because like for Optic, would probably just go back to Ye being Jet, Victor being Flashes, Marv being Smokes, FNS being Sentinel now. Like like most of the teams, it's not like they came like they're created during the chamber meta, right?
Yeah.
They were created
No,
during
but a lot of teams find by the chamber.
that is fair.
Like whereas the Astra meta, I feel like a lot of teams in and out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Astra
But
was
chamber,
silly, but chamber is is an agent that has so much individual effect that single player does make it. And I think that's again that's why with like Yampy is making such a big splash versus before where yes he had a lot of impact,
but it
now
wasn't.
But now
now
like,
it's tripled.
yeah,
it's
easily tenfold more.
yeah.
So,
But I guess that's fair. Okay. Moving on because we really didn't touch this. I think this was a big upset. Like I said, Fnatic. NA no longer is a one team region. International. I think that's a big thing. But holy fuck, what the hell happened?
that was incredible. I could not believe XA like
Exit wanted to play, man.
They were pissed at us at Copenhagen. They heard all the shit.
and they I mean there I didn't hear a single word about anybody who played them in scrims. Like usually people will be like, "Oh, these guys gonna blah blah blah." Not a word. XH's heads were down.
They didn't say a word. They just kept quiet. They stayed humble, like you said. They just understood where they were, and they were just like, "We will do our best." And by God, did they do their fucking best?
I mean, they put in fucking work,
Boys. But here's the thing, they're in top 4.
No, top 6.
Top 6.
Top 6.
Sorry, my bad. I'm bad at brackets.
It's understandable.
But
they now also
will
have to
the
go.
curse continue?
Except top, except 4th place.
Except 4th place.
Sort of fuck. No, if that happens, I'd be happy. I would be
I
so
would
happy.
because that means that roster's staying together.
Yes, that would mean the roster staying together.
Yeah, I don't foresee a world where they don't stay together after this.
Fair enough. They've made a lot. They've actually made a splash in the
Again,
community, especially when their coach went.
Again, I'm just like with franchising. I don't know what the fuck orgs will do. Like with like talent getting
Well,
squished.
okay, that's also to be fair. We don't know if XSET's in franchise.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So You're correct. But yeah.
That sucks, bro. I love and hate franchising.
It's a tug and pull. Okay, now I'm looking at the stats. Realizing something.
Uh-oh.
You know how he always. I mean, it wasn't really that badly, but Cry was the only one who went positive in that match.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, BCJ had an awful. To be honest.
Actually, second's the lowest. Or no, I mean, shows it weird. He had the. Just shows it weird on the scoreboard. Lowest ACS.
He had the lowest ACS.
Sorry. But with only 27 kills, 32 deaths. But I mean, don't get me wrong. That doesn't describe it because, like, at least everyone had impact. It felt like Aaron was getting clutches, Steph was making the right calls, Second was making the space for the team. Like it was. I'm just.
It did feel like they were shutting down the players that needed to be shut down.
Alpha couldn't get shit done.
No.
Good.
Dude,
I
it
agree.
was so funny that before the match, they're playing his quote that's like, oh yeah, I'm going to have 400 ACS in playoffs. And then he does 200 and something. 230?
147.
Sheesh, that's fucking tough.
Production did him dirty.
Production did him real dirty with that one.
But I mean, going into it, I was like, because it looked like Fnatic came back against 100 Thieves. Like, it looked a lot better, a lot cleaner. He just came into bracket and just flunked again.
They played against Liquid today.
I mean, they looked really good.
And they looked. I liked how they looked.
The roller coaster just.
We'll see because what? And they play again. Or Tuesday break day?
No, Tuesday.
They play Tuesday.
No, the break day is after Tuesday.
Right.
So Wednesday.
Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, just Wednesday, Thursday are break days.
Okay, so Tuesday. So they have until Tuesday to make sure that they're in this exact same form.
Mm-hmm.
Can we look at the Fnatic game
from today? Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to see the stat line.
One in Liquid, one negative. Everyone pretty much went positive on Fnatic.
Alfigure had a chip on his shoulder, I swear.
Well, I mean,
I
he should be.
totally understand why.
Like,
But
I mean,
holy.
to be fair, he was playing Neon against Xset, where you can't really get a lot of impact to raise both maps against Liquid. He wants to.
Hey, we called it before the game.
Yeah,
It's kind of funny.
yeah, we did. That just put him on Raze and he'll be fine.
Put on Raisin, will kick ass.
But no, okay. But yeah, I mean, what do you do? I mean, what do you do when Scream only has 19 kills, both maps?
So they only had 19 round wins.
6, 7, not even.
Damn.
Dude.
Only 13.
But I guess that proposes a question. Fnatic could be. I imagine Fnatic will be more prepared for the XZ run back. Let's say in
I'm not even sure if they'll get it.
yeah,
Cause okay, so here's how it's looking out. DRX Loud and Optic Exit. Loser of DRX Loud play Fnatic, and loser of Optic Exit play FPX. And then winners of those two lowers face off against each other. I don't know if the rematch will happen. Although,
My insane prediction: if Loud go to lowers, they lose to DRX here. Fnatic wins.
mm-hmm.
If DRX goes to lowers, I think DRX wins. Because DRX looks like they can right now take a hit and they'll still keep chugging.
I don't know. I kind of disagree with that.
Yeah, I agree with Justin.
I think if Loud ends up going to lowers here, I do think Loud will be Fnatic. I think they're way better at isolating and punishing than DRX. DRX is very, very good. Don't get me wrong. But if they're not isolating and punishing, they fall apart. I mean, that's how they fall apart every year. They fail to isolate and punish a star player, boom, it's all over.
Yeah.
It will be these next 4 matches will be very interesting and very entertaining. Like,
all I know is that I pray that FPX goes home.
I pray that all EU teams go home.
Yeah, these top 6 teams are here to play, here to win. I can see a world where any 6 of them can win. I like quotes. I think actually Fnatic's the worst here.
I do think Fnatic is probably the weakest out of every team.
I know you love them, Joe, but like they've been so low. Like again, roller coaster, so high, so low. Like
they're inconsistent.
Yes, and because of that, I can't just say they're gonna make it all the way to winners because there's no way at some point they're low hits.
Well, I can say it.
Hey, if they prove me wrong, kudos. Like bravo, shut me up. That's what they're meant to do. Meant to shut people like us up.
Entertain me.
Yeah, exactly. But like until I see that, I'm not gonna predict it unless I have a gut feeling, which I don't. I just think they're the worst team here.
So gut feeling. Who do you foresee going? Do you foresee winning?
Why did I have to say that word? Because it's so tough. Because like I said, I don't see Fnatic doing it. I just don't. FPX. I think for that same reason, I'd have to say it just because Artist himself has been on a low, and for them to replicate what they did in Copenhagen with a full lowers run is so difficult that I think they just slip a bit. But a top 4. I wish this question was asked on Friday or Thursday, because then it would be so easy to...
We'll ask the question every time we do it.
Yeah, but because I'm like thinking about Optic and how like... Because I know they can do it, but also they do look shaky. And I'm like...
Optic gets off to such a start, and that's why I'm gonna say Optic is placing 3rd.
Yeah.
I don't see that. I don't see them placing top 2.
And and then in my head it's like DRX Loud X. I don't know who to put ahead. It's like they're all just like right there, like because in my mind it's not like if I have everyone up here and Fnatic down here. It's like I have everyone here and then like Fnatic like here, right? Like
yeah,
it's all so close.
Everyone who's made it so far deserves it. They've been playing fucking great.
My prediction is Loud makes it through lowers.
And wins the whole thing?
I think they win the whole thing through lowers. I think that they're going to lose to DRX, 100%. I think that Loud. Yeah, I don't see Loud winning against DRX the first time around.
Mm-hmm.
The second time around, I do see them winning. I'm worried that the only thing I'm worried about is Optic beating Xset and then Loud and Xset having their run back, right? Because that's how that'd pan out.
It would be
Because it would be DRX, Xset,
Yeah.
Grands, Loud,
It-
Optic,
Yeah, if Optic
Losers fine.
yeah.
lost,
If you're
they'd
saying
run it
if
back.
Exo win here and then they meet up in losers final.
Yeah, they'd meet up in losers finals because I don't think Xset could DRX right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that they are going to be prepared for the firepower that Stacks is going to bring.
Stacks, Buzz, RB.
I mean,
Mako.
honestly, let's be real. I think if I were to look at the beginning of a DRX match, I'd be like, yeah, Stacks and Mako are like always online.
Mm-hmm.
RB is hit or miss.
Buzz takes a bit.
Buzz takes a bit to warm up. He's very much like Ye.
And
He'll
Zest
get
is
there
just-
eventually.
And Zest is just there. He's like a rock.
Yeah, he's a rock. He's like fundamentally really good, but that's all you need from that kind of player.
From the Silva page, you don't need much. Every so often, if you pop off rounds, yes, please, but
Feels
don't-
good.
Yeah,
I don't need trend.
I do think the winner of the Optic Xset match is.
Well, like, you're like it's conflicting.
It's just because Xset has looked so good from the start of every map that they've played so far. When I watched their group stage games, they were
Right
On
from the
they were
get go.
From the get go, gas, no breaks. They do slow down a little bit towards the latter half of their maps, which is why we see them like start off with this huge lead, it closes down, and then we have this 13-7. And Optic is very, very good at exploiting the you're slowing down and we're speeding up, you know.
I was about to say, so you just see these two teams as complete inverses of each other.
I do, and that's what I'm worried about.
And the other problem is just they're both on A. They both play each other how
So
many
often.
times?
Mhm.
This is a full on coin flip because it's just
I don't know. I
it
really
like
don't
because
know.
it could be like I think if Optic win that, I think they make grands, and
I think they lose after that.
Yeah.
I don't foresee them again. I still don't see them making top two. I want to be wrong,
Mhm.
but until they show me a stronger
More.
start, we'll see. Again, and even if they have a strong start against Xset, I'm not counting it.
because they just know the team so well.
Yeah, it literally just doesn't count in my mind.
Like
Yeah.
we need it against an FPX allowed a DRX. We need it like from a different region throwing some random bullshit at them.
It's weird. I see if Optic goes to lowers, I think they go for it. I think they get to at least lower finals.
No, lower
It-
finals would be top 3.
No, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you don't see him winning it.
Yeah, I just don't see them winning. I thought you were gonna say they were going to win. I was like, wait, no,
No.
I disagree.
No. I think if they get to lower finals, they're just gonna get something's gonna break, and they're gonna FNS will say for now as like just a theoretical.
All good.
FNS snaps, something happens, and all of a sudden the rest of the team just crumbles, and that's what I feel like is gonna happen if they go to lowers. If they go to uppers, they have a coin flip of winning
Is this
because it depends on who gets fucked.
Loud versus Optic round.
If it's Loud versus Optic round 4, I think Optic might go,
I
hey
think I'm going
guys.
to cry.
Hey guys, I want my free win.
how many times did they play each other this year? Two times at Iceland. 2 times. No, just one.
Just one time.
Just one time.
Copenhagen.
So
Twice. Once here.
Once here.
four, yeah.
So it'll be the
That'd be-
fifth time.
Four,
Oh my
yeah.
god, dude. If they get to uppers, I could see Optic taking it. But
Is this DRX's time?
I think this is excess.
Oh, okay. Before I'm getting ahead of DRX's time, do they break the 6th place curse? Do they finally get top 4?
I do think that they top 4 this tournament. I absolutely believe that they
If they can't
after
beat
after
Loud.
last showing. Control a second.
Yeah, because either they beat Loud here and get top 3, or they lose to Loud and then place Fnatic. I agree with that. Yeah, there's very little. Yeah, I feel like yes, it is more likely for DRX to be able to beat Fnatic in that case. And probably make it. Oh, this bracket's so hard to predict.
I'm so happy it's so
This
hard to
is a way
predict.
better bracket than last year's.
Exactly. Like, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen here. Every team has a shot, and I'm so happy that every team has a shot.
But that's how it should be, and it's nice that it's not even like 2 regions. Like this is 4 regions.
Yeah.
Thank God.
But like so far we've had an NANE winner. What if Champs is a different region?
I hope it's KR. I hope KR's been notoriously not awesome at FPS, but
If that is, that's insane. Right before franchising,
exactly.
and like that would be.
No way, that's bad for franchising. NA's gonna be like, buy the green.
Wait, you're right. Shit.
Oh,
No,
shit.
we're going back. Six place.
We're going back to the league. We're going to the league. We're going to the league.
Back to 6th place curse. Back to 6th place curse.
Oh no.
I lied.
Never mind. DRX is bumming out. Metal is just gonna hit him.
Taxi gonna get overconfident and get reality checked.
He's actually just gonna overpeak it. Aspas will be there with an op, just waiting.
Alfier will be there. Deagle in hand.
Okay. So...
Shit. I see
that turned so quickly.
No, but again, if we're being real, I do think DRX are probably gonna win. Are probably gonna at least place top 2. Loud's probably gonna win the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't.
Brazil, Korea, grand finals. That would be.
That would be insane.
The lowest viewership grand.
Damn it, bro! But it'd be such good Valorant.
It would be. It would be good Valorant.
Like, I'm genuinely excited to watch that game. But guess what?
I love seeing the EU crowd in shambles.
But guess what, guys? It's at 12 o'clock tomorrow. Or it's at 10 o'clock tomorrow.
10?
Yeah.
Well,
we're watching the VOD, baby.
I'll be
you
in
know what?
class.
You know what? I'm gonna try and wake up for it.
Hey, yo, if you wake up for it, good for you. I'm still in class.
Okay. Fuck it, we ball.
So we'll be watching the VOD after prac.
Yeah.
Alright, fuck it, I'm watching it.
Damn, that's tough.
But okay.
Just wake him up.
Yeah, you could just do that.
Okay.
So, you said Loud. Fuck it, I'm saying DRX. I don't see FPX or Fnatic making it through lowers. And like
FPX is the one I'm really worried about. I do think that they have a chance at like blowing the whole bracket up. But that's it again, if Artists decides that they're gonna show up.
That's
I think the rest of their team is like so I hate that I'm using this in like a negative way, but they're so brain dead consistent. Like when I look at the team,
they have no what is it? Adaptability.
Well, not adaptability, but like no one really stands out above the rest at any.
It's just
match.
all like equal.
Yeah, they're all like super equal, and then there's your star player.
Mm.
I don't know if I like that in teams. I'd rather have a team that's mostly consistent. Then you have the few players who are like, I'm gonna show up this game and I'm gonna frag 30 somehow.
Yeah.
You know.
It would.
I'm just gonna appear.
Well, I was gonna
But
say.
on another given day, I'm fragging 14. 14, 15, like whatever.
But I'm still supportive as hell.
Yeah.
Like,
Gonna say like that was how they were last major. It was just really Shao had his games, Advan had his games, Sugetsu had majority of the games.
But that's just not how it's looking right now. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. But if they decide to show up again, then I'll talk differently about them. But
until that point.
I was gonna say my big worry is just because of that Artist OT versus DRX. Like he did nothing other than that first 3K, and then he was just nowhere.
Yeah.
Like DRX was.
He hit that first
able
one.
to
Didn't he?
stop him.
He hit that first one, and then didn't he buy like all the rest of them and just never did anything?
I'm not sure if he bought up, but he didn't do anything. He didn't get a single kill except for that clutch.
Yeah.
That 1v3 clutch. After that, he was nowhere in that OT. So, Chamber, that's just not good.
what do you mean? He's a sentinel. He doesn't need to go.
But,
I wish.
and Joey, are you on the Fnatic Copium, or are you...
I don't know, man.
Accept reality.
I'm taking the. I'm actually taking both copiums. I want to be Xset or Fnatic. If I have to go with reality though, the reality tells me DRX. Reality tells me DRX will take it.
Therefore, DRX will not be winning it. Some other random team will be winning it because me and Joe predicted it.
Dude, if reality sets in though, I think DRX is coming into this. Players are on a heater. Everyone looks good. It's just like all of the check marks that they need to hit before a game have been checked. They just need to actually show up.
I don't know. The gut feeling I have about Loud, which is versus what I've seen, is the same that I felt about 100 Thieves Fnatic. I can feel it coming. It's going like I'm not gonna say it's going to happen,
But that's what you
but
feel.
it's just when I compare the odds in my head, I think it just makes the most sense that Loud wins this.
Yeah.
They look the best out of all the teams here.
Fair enough.
They piss from Reykjavik.
Even though they lost to Optic.
Yeah. But other than that, that's pretty much the next couple matches. This thought just came into my head. From those winners, this is an even harder thought for me, but I figured because we still have time, right? What's the time we're at?
Let's see.
40?
We are at 41 minutes.
Yeah, so we still have a little bit. I'm gonna throw this curveball in here. Who do you think will be MVP of the tournament?
You fuck.
We need to bump up that
So are we
20
taking
minutes.
this from our potential winning team, or just like overall?
I'd say overall, just because
All right.
put a potential team like that's just even harder.
Yeah.
I think overall of the whole tournament, who do you think is the MVP?
All right. All I gotta say is that you guys saw what they put out for Optic versus Liquid, right? There was one MVP for that match, and his name was Yay. That's all I have to say.
I don't disagree with you. Like I understand that reasoning, but that's too easy. That's baby talk. Fuck you.
Wow, yes, Yay is the MVP. Wow.
Yeah, Yay is the number one player. Who saw this coming?
Wow, crazy.
So original.
It's Stacks though, number 2.
But that's what I mean though. It's like I don't. The whole reason I don't say like pick from the team that you have winning is just so you're not limiting yourself to 5 players. Because then more than likely I'm just gonna because you with DRX it's gonna be Stacks, or unless you see a world where Buzz just pops off, right, or Mako just pops off, right. I don't want you to limit to that 5 on the roster you think will win.
Okay.
I don't want Justin to just look at me and go ass pass. I want him to think of the whole tournament, every player in it, and think I think this player
Starting
deserves
from
the most getting their team there. Even
All right,
if
I got my answer.
even if they lose in groups, or
like even if I mean yes, but I mean it's gonna be hard to argue that because they only won 1 round, right?
yeah,
Like I could try making an argument for Will being like an amazing player, but it's hard when they only got
1 game.
yeah. Was it an amazing game? Yes, don't get me wrong. He played phenomenal. But he's not my MVP
Okay.
because he couldn't keep it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, well, that's and I'm keep blabbering because I still need to come up with my head because fuck.
All right, Justin, you said you have yours. Who isn't Yay?
It's not Yay. Do I want to share mine first? Because I don't want to influence other people.
I mean,
All right,
Joe, do you have
just
yours?
say the name, and we'll all go and say our name, and then we can give our reasons after.
But I still need to
If you still need to think, just
No,
think.
we'll buy some time. We'll buy some time.
We'll buy some time.
buy some time.
Because I don't want to reveal mine because I feel like mine is I'm not gonna say it's probably the right answer, but it's among probably the top 5 answers that you could give.
All right, so then while we buy time, let's talk about the best region in the world, NA.
Our Antarctica.
Antarctica.
And let's go.
Okay, I think I have it. I think I have it. Yep. Okay. I have my argument.
Yep.
Joe, do you have yours?
Yeah, it's really predictable, but yeah.
Okay.
If you're gonna say yeah, that's fine. But,
No.
like, just know.
Big fun of you.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But I have 2 in my head just in case you both say the same one.
Okay.
So I have
Okay.
a backup. But Justin, go.
All right. MVP stuff.
Okay.
Fair.
Joe,
Stacks.
I saw that going, which is why my
Yeah.
other one. I was gonna go with Cryo, right? The other basic one.
Yo, let's go.
Yo, okay.
But mine is probably basic. But I mean, Cryo is a big reason X has made it this far. Being able to defeat FPX and Fnatic, which I do think holds a lot up to it. Even if FPX looked a little lackluster, or Fnatic, sorry, but like they were still able to do it. And most of the time, like from previous experiences, we're usually used to X falling off at this point. They have not. And like, I just think a big reason of that is cryo, and I'm sure you'll make a very good argument for def. But just simple brain, like what cryo's being able to do, probably overpeaks a little too much at that fracture game, going for the third over the stage ball. But what he's able to accomplish with the team and being able to like be like the push the team, I'd say not even like get them over the final hurdle, but put them in the right spots.
Right.
Like you don't have to worry about him clutching around, but he can set even at chamber get the round winnable for others.
Right.
And I think that is massively why Fnatic are right now 3-0 in this tournament, which I think is another big thing. It's just that it hasn't looked like it looked scrappy, but it hasn't looked like they.
It's not out of control.
Yes, it's not like it just was out of nowhere. Just look out of nowhere. Yo, do you have anything to go on about the stacks, or is it just stacks?
Well, it stacks, but a little bit of my added like personal reason. When you look at when they played against FPX, it was the first team on stage.
Mhm.
Everyone's nerves are fucking tight as hell. He was probably the only player on their side that was the first one to go like, let's fuck. Like
Just
the
hype
whole
up the
time.
crowd.
Yeah, he's hyping the crowd, but that also inadvertently gets the crowd on their side, which then adds the factor of like their team is fucking popping off
Mhm.
instead of getting crushed by the crowd like fucking Leviathan was, who got immediately swept by it. He said, "No, we're gonna make this ours." Stood up, got a EMEA team to be rooted against for
Mm-hmm.
in a town that was like, we want FPX. Like that to me is the symbol of a good fucking leader in general. So that's why I think he is MVP of the tournament. He got the crowd on his side on a tournament that should have hated him.
I will say I don't disagree with you. I just wanted to ask if you had a thought
I
process
had an
behind it.
actual thought
But I just want-
behind this. It is not brain dead.
Well,
Stacks
I
player.
mean, no, that's fair. But like, because I mean, again, I just picked crowd because haha, funny chamber, like it pop off. Like,
Fair enough.
I just was able to bullshit my way through it. But like, yeah,
You
no,
don't
I
think that
agree.
bullshit is?
But yeah, Sex did so well, and like, I didn't. Sadly, I wasn't able to watch the whole Ascent game. I just kind of woke up during overtime. But like him being able to clutch up that one round in OT, the 1v2, and being able to like push them over the edge of it.
Yeah.
And then what he did on Breeze, to, like get them started, get them rolling, like being able to keep that control, like it, especially again for IGL or part IGL.
Part IGL.
But like still in that leadership role, like it's amazing. And you're deaf. I want to hear this argument.
Okay.
Let's see this.
So when we think about like the way the games played out, and we can look at this from a raw scoreboard standpoint, like round by round basis, not like kills, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Exet has had a humongous shift in how they play, and like not shift, but like evolution how they play. Like they finally reached the point where they want to be. I think Def is so good at, whereas FNS is really good at communicating and having the executes. Def is really good at catching it, right? When you think about the Pearl game,
Mhm.
that they played, every play that Fnatic played against them, caught all of it in his hands all the time.
Mm.
I love IGLs that are constantly aware of all the options going on rather than tunneling on getting on site. I feel like that's a lot of IGL's weaknesses right now.
Mhm.
It's how can we get on site in the most effective way possible, rather than how can we prevent space from being taken and then we retake that space. And I think he's done a fantastic job at adapting that and then turning that into a round-to-round victory.
Mhm.
On top of that, I was when we were watching the Fnatic game, I was really confused by the force bias. Guy has balls. He's willing to call it and he's willing to believe in his players. Aside from like teams getting ecos, he's willing to be like, hey guys, let's go for it. Let's try and win this damn thing.
And it's not like it's just now let's all just run down a main. It's thoughtful. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
thinking about what to actually do with it.
Like there's a legitimate thought process besides run it down. And I really, really like that about him. I would also like to say that aside from X-Out's coach going like this, it takes a huge amount of like respect and iron will to sit there, get booed by a crowd because you're absolutely
And ignore it.
dumpstering an EU team. Keep your young kids, high spirited.
Yeah.
Think about Zekin, literally 17, only played on an NA stage,
And
and Reykjavik, but not Reykjavik, Copenhagen.
Yeah.
I don't even think that was, but that wasn't in front of a crowd.
That was in
It
front of
wasn't
a
even in
crowd.
front of a crowd. So like, what do? How do you do that? BCJ never been in front of a crowd before. Right. I don't think he's been in front of a crowd before.
No.
I don't think he
No.
was ever in front of a crowd in CS.
Nope.
So
He's only 20.
yeah, he's only 20. So he has this like humongous role, not only as like their IGL, but as a big brother telling everybody, hey, it's going to be okay. Keep your head down, stay focused, keep that iron mentality, and we're going to win this thing. And when he's able to communicate that to his team plays good. BCJ has a not great game. When I looked at BCJ's player cam, he didn't look upset. He didn't look frustrated. They were winning rounds off of utility, and you could argue that part of that is cryo.
Mm.
But I would say if you have a guy who's calling for you and telling you, "Hey man, listen, I know we're getting like bump fucked by the flank. Let's just chill. Let's catch it and punish. Let's do something about it." Instead of sitting there being like, "We got to get on site faster. We got to rotate faster." That's a huge downfall for a lot of IGLs.
Mhm.
Just let's do this differently instead of adapting to it and being like, let's not, let's take it one step at a time and then we'll get there. And you could say, oh well, they're getting it fast because of crowd. What if that call's never made? Then you're never going to get that point.
Yeah.
So I think he's doing a fantastic job at being like this big brother type for Xset, being very commanding, knowing what needs to be done, and just keeping everybody's heads in the game. And that's why every Xset win has been so fucking like dominant.
And unlike other teams where you'll see them big pop offs and then they just crumble because big heads, whatever.
Fnatic.
Like, yes. But like Xset, for all the pop offs and the clutch plays they've had, like they're like quickly excited, stand up real quick, right back to the game. No,
Yeah, just keep yourself down. Don't overheat. He is so good at keeping the reins on cryo. It's not
like we still yell at him, but like there are so many other times where he'll just, but like it's not like Cryo's doing those over peaks in horrendous times. Like
Yeah.
look, like Cryo will do them in stupid times, but it's okay.
But like at some point, I mean, usually you don't want to say it's okay, but like
But, yeah.
at more acceptable times, right?
Mhm.
But we
You already
haven't
get
seen
your
that
3.
much.
It's a 4v2. You might as well see what else you can get.
But it's not like I'm seeing Cryo over peak every round. Like it's
It's not one round you clutch up, the next round you run it down.
Yeah.
You're feeling good.
it's
That always.
like none of that has happened, and I do agree. I see, and you said I'm the analytical one with that. With Justin here.
I don't know. I just
No, but I see the reason, and it makes a lot of sense. And again, like the improvement in Xset from last major to this major, no tournaments, no like just scrims. That's impressive. Like
that is
like Psycho and Def put in so much work, or the whole team did. But I imagine those two did a lot more behind the scenes just to get everyone ready for it.
Yeah.
And
they're not a stream team, so they can't lose.
Oh my god. Crazy. Like practice helps.
Yeah.
Hey,
See,
Sentinels.
but Optic is different though, because Bujan's the greatest streamer of all time.
true. But that wasn't that bad of a topic.
No.
You know what's gonna be worse is next week when you try to make me do the top 20 players.
Well,
We got a while.
Yeah, we got a while.
Yeah, we got a while.
Yeah.
But either way, so far the bracket's looking very good. Tournament again hasn't really had any slow moments in my head.
No.
Most games have just been bangers.
Most games.
Most games. A few sleepers, but like still, like for most tournaments, I'm staring at it going only 50% of these are
Right.
good matches. Now I'm like, yeah.
I mean, top 8's been good, although
Top 8.
a little too much EU representation for my team.
All
Three
right,
too
NA
many.
boy.
I don't know how to calm him down. I don't know. There's nothing I can do. He towers over me. What the fuck?
No. I will respect EMEA when they respect NA. Fuck you.
So never.
Yeah, but can't believe I'm having a resilience here all the way. They're even worse sometimes.
Bro, I still remember when Sentinels and Loud were the teams that were
Oh,
beefing for
wow.
like a fucking month, was it?
Yeah. over
literally
Zom
nothing.
Saying nothing.
Yeah, over Zom saying, dude, that man gets into so much trouble over
Okay,
saying
well,
nothing.
Zom's is-
Something. Yeah, let's cut that off, right?
All right, we're cutting off here. Okay.
Yeah, I think. I mean, unless either you two have a last minute topic you want to bring up, I'm getting to the end of my bullshitting of nothing else to do with bracket.
Nah, we
Alright.
made our predictions. We made our MVP players
Call
for right now. We'll see how it is after.
See how.
We'll see.
Let's say.
Yeah, don't worry. Tomorrow we'll upload a podcast screaming about how we were all wrong and everything went wrong in one fucking play.
I'm pretty confident.
No, you said loud wins. I'll be saying it all went wrong.
But either way, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully, these two just keep pushing me to do this, and we'll be back whenever we have time. Have a good night.
How was weekend? Good night.